Hello, every mommies and daddies. Here's Jimmy and Jenny, and this video is going to be more about a personal subject than the reborn. So I hope it will be okay with you. Almost since I've begun to make the videos on my channel, I've mentioned about my personal issues, some problem that I have, and that I've needed to seek help about that. But I wasn't giving any much details, and I always feel bad because it's a bit like if I'm giving some negative energy to my viewers, and I don't like that. And I said my viewers, I would. That's very analytic. I meant my friends. I'm so sorry. You are not just viewers. You are my friends too, okay? You are Jimmy's aunties and uncles. So I'm sorry, you're not just viewers. Because that's... I guess that I said that because of what I'm going to say next. Well, the thing is, I've talked about my problems with some people in the clinic and with my family, which was very interesting. It seems that my problem is going back to childhood, like even before that, when I was born, and it may be related to the Asperger syndrome. If you don't know what it is, it's a kind of autism, but in a lesser degree. When I was young, I was very alone. I was a lonely child, but I was feeling good about it. It wasn't a problem for me. And I didn't know how to make friends. I had friends only because some child came to me to make discussion and all. So this is why I had friends before, because I didn't know how to go to some people and just say, hey, hi, how are you? I want to be your friend. This is something I just don't know how to do. And then during school, the teachers started to say that I wasn't participating in any social activities, and for a few years between my childhood and the teenage years, my mom was going to meet the teachers, and they were saying like, your child is probably having some ADHD. You probably know what it is, and he may need Ritalin. And my mom wasn't someone that wanted her child to have medication. To a certain degree, I understand that. The thing is, I think there was enough substance to say, okay, there's a problem somewhere about Jimmy, because that was my name before. I was the kind of child to always be in my imaginary world, and I never had imaginary friends, but I was living in my own world, and I prefer that to have friends or be with friends. Then at school, it began to my notes began to drop, and I remember I had like 23% in an exam, that's a low. There was something, but nobody have done anything about it. And then, except telling me to force myself to have friends, to participate in the activities, to be better at school, but I just couldn't. I was blocked. This is how I felt. I was giving my best, and then I began to, well, I left school. After that, it was hard for me to find a job, so I went into some sort of program to help me have a job, and it was hard there too. But they did find a job for me. I worked there for a year, but after that, I've got some suicidal thinkings, and I wasn't able to work as much as I was doing in the few months, and after a year they let me go. And then again I had hard times to find jobs, but I had money, and this is when I've decided to move to Montreal, and I didn't work for 2 years until a friend of mine told me about the work that I have right now at the restaurant, and he said, hey, this is this place that is going to open, and I'd like you to begin at the job, and then you can do some other job elsewhere. But I remember I was very anxious about it. I've cried after saying, oh yes, I'm going to do that. I was so afraid. It was just to wash the dishes, so, but I was crying. I was very desperate. And during that time I had boyfriends, and I've had nice relationship that went wrong because of some mistakes they've done, and some things that I was doing because I was just, they thought after a while that I was strange. They saw that I wasn't going to be with friends, and they felt like I was blocking them in their life just because they were with me. And after 3 good relationship and one other boyfriend, I've decided to not have boyfriends anymore, just because it was getting me anxious. I didn't feel good anymore to just date and see other guys. And that was a few years ago, and since then I've made my transition. It was good at first, but then the social occasion to change my identities, I've had to make some many calls, have to go to places, and I'm the kind of person to stay at home when I'm not at work, and because if I don't do that, I'm very anxious, or not that anxious because I don't feel anxious at that moment, but when I'm about to do something that is not something that I do usually, I'm getting anxious. Or if I have to be at parties, I will be anxious because I know that in parties with every person there, I will feel so alone. That's why since a few weeks you are hearing me telling you that I don't feel good and that I want to do something about it, and that I'm tired, that my week wasn't good. That's why. This is the reason why. Now I've discussed with my mom, and it became clear to my mind and her and to some of the people around me that it's probably related to the Asperger syndrome. And so this is it. If I don't know how to explain the Asperger syndrome easily, because it's hard for me to explain things. But if you're curious, You can go on Wikipedia or something like that. They will explain. I don't have all the symptoms of the Asperger syndrome because being someone that went in life thinking I was just a bit special and that I have to force myself to everything, that's what I did. I forced myself to be the most normal person that everyone can meet. So I've done that for years, and now my energy is going down. I can't do that anymore. So I'm going to find a way to be back on track, but I don't know how yet. And right now, when I'm not working, I go to home. I'm on my bed and I sleep, or I watch some videos or films, or I talk with my friends from Paris. But I'm just so tired and I just want to sleep just to forget where I live, that I'm in this world that I never can't relate to anything. I can't fit anywhere with anybody. That's very hard on me. And that's a bit why Jimmy and the Reborn community is helping me, because there's something positive about it and it helps me to have some relationships, even if you are far. For me, it represents something. But yeah, so I think I will just finish the video there. I didn't want to make it so long. I just wish that it won't bother you to listen to it, and I want you all to know that I thank you very much for just being there to make comments, to write to me, and to wish me the best, while you are the best. Thank you so much. So Jimmy and I are giving you big hugs. We love you and we are very thankful. Bye everybody, every mommies and daddies.